That is one big pilot.
For a modern gaming audience.
Why are you running?
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
We're communists.
Woke.
Would you please get your politics out of my comic books? I'm like, what comic books are you reading?
I'm cured! Praise God!
He vatored!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
For a modern gaming audience.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble.
Welcome to Nerd Wars. Sorry about that. Welcome to Nerd Wars.
Please clap.
Yes, yes. Please clap indeed. You better. It's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure to have you all here. I am attempting to use my nice expensive camera. We're taking bets how long before it freezes.
I say before the 30-minute mark. Personally, before Badger Cast.
Where between 0 and 10 minutes, personally, but we've got backups if need be. So we're professional here when we boomer our streams.
That's your sex cam.
Yeah.
It doesn't get used much. Don't worry.
No.
Hello. And yes, we are on time. We're never late and gay. Ever.
Badger keeps spurning my advances or else we'd be gay, but...
Be a lot easier. I'll tell you that much. If we could choose, it would be a lot easier. And I'd get better paying jobs, apparently. I'd be able to write for whoever I wanted. Just say I'm gay.
It's too easy, though. That's the problem. Yeah. We need a little bit of hardship in our life as a straight white male. Well, straight white adjacent male for you Puerto Rican.
Sure. I can move between two worlds depending on when I get...
A White Walker, you're a White Walker.
It's a fun story. I did go on a cruise once. That was like down southern Mexico and like all the anyway. And I went and there was a group from the tour that I knew, and I went over and I pretended to rob them for a second and like scared the shit out of the tour guide. She's like, just so you know, you do sort of look like the locals. We thought you were actually robbing them. I was like, how dare you?
I can't believe you got profiled for pretending like you were robbing someone. So racist.
I did. I'm passing. Yeah. Sometimes.
So I talk about how I'm surrounded by Puerto Ricans or whatever. I've now that I'm editing for Dragon, what up, Aiden? I got yet another Latino in my life. Y'all are invading my life, and honestly,
the Slayers also.
I kind of like it.
Yeah. Think very hardworking people. The ones that come in legally, of course.
I'm jealous of Dragon Slayer's accent.
I think I told you I didn't know what the fuck his accent was for the longest time. And then when he was like, he's Latin. What kind of Latin is that? It's like Florida Cuban or I don't know.
Latinx, maybe that's what Latinx is.
The updated Latine. I'm not sure. Either way, congratulations on the extra work. See, you really are the editor of the community.
Being gay does sound great, but there is the big but, and that but is but.
No, you just say you're a top. You should be a choosy motherfucker. Be like, nah. See?
I'll get used to it. I'll learn to enjoy it, and then I'll want to share it with everyone's children.
That tween.
For diversity and inclusion.
I did it just for the writing gigs. And apparently I can go and be a consultant.
We're talking about Alan Richardson getting molested by gay modeling agents later.
Richardson.
Actually,
if you say his name wrong, then
we
can slander him and not get in trouble because we're not actually talking about him. We're talking about Richardson adjacent. I don't know. I really like him, and I've been really trying to like la 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 la. Speaking of being gay,
for the Swedish accent in Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah.
Might change
so I am seeing that Sunday.
I know.
I'm seeing that Sunday.
I thought it was a joke at first. I thought they were pretending to be Swedish.
They
were.
No. Female custodies, by the way, they don't exist.
We have the preeminent foremost Warhammer scholar with us today, the Angry Badger. Can we get some applause?
They finally said the name fucking right after forever. Yeah, I know. That is an interesting one. There is a lot of that group that is either coped or with the retcon and fighting like the other group in Warhammer saying like, nah, fuck this. very interesting to watch. Seems Badgers.
Yeah, speaking of like refined nerd rage, like nerd rage in its purest form, we're gonna talk about furries later. You don't piss off the furry community, and I'd also advise probably not pissing off the Warhammer 40K community either.
Dude,
people with money are not people you want to piss off, which is why we try to keep Hayden as happy as possible here. Wait, Hayden, do you play Warhammer?
Yeah,
it's a rich man's game.
Mr. Wayne, what you want to talk about? It is, like I said, that rage from the Warhammer on both sides, like not equal amounts. People upset about it are definitely way more upset than the people like calm down. What's your problem? They've always hinted at, or it's always been a this, or why do you care? That's the fucking big one, is why do you care?
Here we go. We'll skip around. So lore isn't real. Warhammer isn't real. None of this shit matters in the grand scene of things.
Hey, I actually have a post replying to him that got pretty decent views on this one.
Oh my God, he does. So he does play. So then why did it have to change? It's not a big deal, bro. Then why was it such a big deal to you to force the change in the first place?
Yeah, this is what I think I said to him. A couple hundred views, which are likes, which is the most likes I've ever gotten in fucking this Twitter, whatever it is.
Oh, it's on Twitter? You got some views?
I replied to him, Grums. It's on this one right here, this thread.
I believe we call that engagement farming now?
Engagement, yes. This is what they do. They go, this is what they do with the pronouns. Like, why do you care? It's like, well, why do you care? Why are you doing it if we don't care, if it's no big deal? And then they get all upset. They show that how big of a deal it is.
They go, ring! And then everything changes, and we're like, no, stop the change. And they're like, why do you care so much?
Yeah, this is the Sisters of Silence. I hear like a bunch of other battle sisters and nuns and this and that. It seems like in all things, it was open. There were already the female equivalents of all of the things, more or less, but that's never enough. The equivalent is never enough. It has to be the untouchable. It has to be the big.
Once they get it, they get that little bit. It's that permanently forever or else.
And you know what? This is reflected in a lot of the comments on my videos where you could see some of them that thought they were dunking on it. Like, and you better hope that this is how they sounded. And you better hope that we stop with them. Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
In your
like
comment section?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. This is fucking the level mentality of a vast majority of it is not actually for, and I think Mahler has said this, and let's really think about this. Of all the franchises, seriously, of all the franchises that have had supposedly were gate kept, and there's this mythical, magical group just waiting to try to play it, of all the things that we've now made inclusive, have any of the demographics changed? Was there suddenly a large number of queer Black women suddenly into Star Wars now? Now that the patriarch, you know what I'm saying? Like, now that all the gates have been smashed, where the fuck is now this mythical oppressed group that wasn't able to get into this shit? Oh, it's almost like the people that were playing it, and all you did was alienate them, and there's no one to replace them.
We are going to probably have to declare a state of emergency because of all the non-binary Black lesbians rushing to their nearest tabletop gaming store.
It's a conspiracy.
The only problem, though, is now that they are into Warhammer, they're going to have to start putting all the Warhammer figures behind a glass case. So.
Oh, and apparently, if on the other side is, oh well, fuck you, we're just going to start 3D printing all things.
I was gonna ask for anyone who knows Warhammer to give us pull it back up.
Sorry.
Since you are the foremost Warhammer scholar here, could you pronounce that name for us there at the end?
Drukhari.
Sure, you want to say it again? I think you had something in your throat there.
It's either Drukhari, right? But they maybe
Drew
the K is
Carey?
silent.
Oh my God, whose line is it anyways?
I'm going to pronounce it like Game of Thrones shit now. Dracarys. Rocky. Drukhari.
I'm putting $2 on it as pronounced Drew Carey.
Oh man.
Honestly, if you got rid of that
another one. He's another one we lost. The Sisters of Silence are part of my Custodes army, but they aren't Custodes. Right. That's what I was led to understand. To believe.
Because since you're the foremost scholar, they're like the brotherhood of whatevers, and now they've changed it to like the personhoods of whatever, right?
Here's the other big rub.
We're not doing nothing. You're imagining it, bro.
Specifically go through a process that only biological men can go through, which would sort of mess with their 2024 understanding of biology and what is a woman and all that. So that would be another reason they would just fucking change that. It's like, nah, that doesn't matter. So I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Who said that? Tech rat.
Yeah.
You better
guys should
celebrate
see-
responsibly.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
and Tomb Raider in
Wait,
general not
Badge.
going well right now.
So we actually talked about this on one of our streams. I hadn't noticed because it was a smaller picture. So it's like a little bit of diversity and then like Karen and whatever. And then there's the like super diversity woman at the end, the fat black woman, I assume, with like the shaved hair and the color. Have you noticed their legs?
Super hairy?
They don't have legs.
Oh, God.
They're also disabled, Badger.
Oh, because wheelchairs? Because wheelchairs.
No, like the bionic springy legs.
Oh, my God. Well, that might be cool. They're all cyberpunk people.
Well, she's like the so I sadly watched the last 30 minutes of Rebel Moon Part 2, and the main actress from that, she was in the Kingsman, and she was the one with like the bouncy legs with the swords. So honestly, if they did that and had the fat black non-binary lesbian doing that, could redeem it
got
/ that.
no legs. You haven't seen that yet, have you?
Are we talking
Forrest
about Forrest Gump? It's on here right here. See, I told you.
You'll get
I
that
watch
joke one
movies.
day. I
We're
won't
getting
even
there.
say the name, but you'll get that joke one day.
Blade Runner, Ghostbusters, and Last Crusade is what I watched recently, and we will be talking about that later during the appropriate segment where you all get to shame me, and this giant list continues to be added to. I've added more.
Runner.
I saw a clip. I had to grab a clip from Ace Ventura. I don't think I've seen it fully all the way through, or it's been way too long. Is it
both
on the
of them,
list?
right? Because that's one of those.
I
where the
gotta add
sequel
both
might
of
be.
them? Why
The
did I-
sequel might be better than the first one. It's
Why
not even
did
a
I
fucking
even
hot
ask?
take. I don't think.
Why
Chat.
did I even ask?
Because I can't even tell anymore. Is Ace Ventura, the second one, being as good, if not maybe better than the first one? A hot take? Let's see. Let's wait for the destruction and/or support.
Well, so speaking of, we do have some goals to reach here. We hit 50.
Of course, you haven't seen Ace Ventura, as you said.
We hit 50. We are probably going to get some costumes, and Badger's going to go off screen briefly to celebrate, and come back with a squinty-eyed Irwin cosplay. And for a hundy, as going to be from here on out, I got to watch a movie. Currently, we'll be Back to the Future 2. So if we get to a hundy, I will be watching Back to the Future 2 tonight. Or we got RoboCop, Predator, or, someone drops a big one. They're just telling me what movie they want to watch.
I always
And
like when people tell you what to do.
we went crazy last Saturday. Like, I feel cringe making these tiers, but IRL Hypno would have had to come out last Saturday. So for 200, I got to watch a movie tonight and tomorrow. Chat gets to decide what I watch. And beyond that, I don't know. If we get beyond there again, it won't be cringe if I make some crazy big tiers. But
Or have you ever had guano?
bat poop?
It's delicious.
Is that what we're talking about? Okay, Ace Ventura. It's Ace Ventura,
cut you
right?
with jokes until you watch. You're like, oh, that son of a bitch. That's what he was saying. Yeah, good. And it seems that it is acceptable to think that because they are both really good. Yeah, I do. I think you should put them together. That's just the Ace Ventura.
I did, and now this list is full, and I've marked off. I've marked off 3. I've marked off 3.
I'm
never gonna end.
Love it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
we probably got Back to the Future 2, RoboCop, Predator, maybe a Face Off. Alien, I am going to be seeing Alien for the first time in theater at the end of the month. Because there aren't any, one of the good things about there being no movies is they're bringing back a bunch of old movies. So they're bringing back Alien and The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Fuck yeah, the movie was great.
But also all the Spider-Mans as well. I don't think they played Spider-Man. They're playing all the Spider-Mans but the first Spider-Man. So there must be a rights thing or something. But I kind of want to go see Spider-Man 2 and 3.
Because on mine, I heard they were re-releasing all of them, all the way through. All 9.
They do it like every week they have one. And then this week they should have been Spider-Man 1 and there's no Spider-Man 1. So, but yeah. So good thing about there not being a bunch of bad movies is they're being forced to put a bunch of old good movies back in the theater. And silver lining to me not having seen any movies because I'm a giant fraud and poser and grifter, I get to see Alien for the first time in theaters. So that's pretty cool.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer. No.
Hey, I'm quick to bring this up. Bro, I'm walking through the grocery store listening to some F&T and then I just hear, Hayden 75, bridge. I almost grabbed a bridge thing today just to please Hayden.
It's a bridge too far for Hayden. If you guys want to see more of how Bridge is tied to these gaming consultant companies and stuff, got a tweet, but it's like a rabbit hole. Oh, well, we know about those rabbit holes.
Hayden's channel's under attack. Absolute pleasure having you here. Please don't go. No, wait, God, no. Huh?
I was saying, speech to text has made me sound so retarded before, so don't worry. I know you meant to say bat guano, not back guano, because that would be quite different. Bat guano is what you cannot step on when you're walking through the streets of San Francisco.
Wait, bat or back guano? Because I was thinking back guano. Is that Ace Ventura
bat
jokes?
Guano is the thing.
Y'all banned for making jokes I don't understand.
You spelled it wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like some Act Daniels, some Act guano.
Some Act Daniels. Yes. I love, the first movie and even the second one. Hold up. For sure, the first one. Brandon Fraser, man. He is really good.
I was like, do I see? I don't have the time, but yeah, I thought about it. That's one I did see, obviously, as a real movie fan and not someone who just admitted to being a giant grifter and poser recently.
Oh,
I'm a giant movie fan. Too. I've seen The Mummy.
The chick in that is great. Plays Evie. I don't know why I can think of her character name and not her actual name.
Yeah, I am really bad at remembering characters' names.
No, I'm not really good, honest, but it's 420, so I maybe protect them.
If I'm being honest,
Rachel Weisz. Jesus.
When I watch like a show with my buddy and we're trying to talk about it and whatnot, we 90% of the time say the black guy when we're referring to a black character. I said it.
Because you're a racist. You've done a racism. It's all right. They say the white dude.
I'm so bad like reading books. I used to read a lot. I wouldn't ever remember names because at least movies and shows you can put that name to a face a bit.
So something I don't expect you to have ever seen, and actually sort of a sad story because
I thought he watched it.
Andy Whitfield, the guy who did the first season, and he was fucking Spartacus. He had these eyes, man, that you can look right through you. He died of cancer, unfortunately. It looked like he may recover, and so they did a spin-off series, which was decent, but then he died and he never came back. And the guy they recasted was just like, ooh, they finished it. They did a Spartacus season 2 and 3, but it was like, I just couldn't go back and watch it, but I wanted to say the guy from The Mummy did end up being, this is what they're talking about, the brother. He ended up being one of the main guys in Spartacus, and he was good. Talk about a glow up, like going from playing like a complete dummy coward character to like sort of a Game of Thrones leader character before Game of Thrones was Game of Thrones. Yeah, Spartacus first season is definitely worth a watch.
Gayer than Game of Thrones, correct? Or was that like the Spartacus spinoff or... Something's gay. I know my buddies.
By the way,
he keeps me up to date on how gay shows are.
There is a whole plot point in the first one that, it's and has been.
Are we talking about the throwing up scene?
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. Yeah, there's a lot.
That was in the documentary. Okay, I haven't seen a lot of these, but they probably all have clips in the documentary. So I'm not a poser, I swear.
Yeah. Remember when I told you I don't eat certain things because it's sprayed in glyphosate? Well, here we are, partner.
Yeah, see, with me not remembering stuff, I may have also had the cancers, and I can't remember if it was Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's.
John Hannah, a fellow Scotsman. Yeah, good man, dude. John Hannah. He is really good in that. Lucy Lawless, you get to see her hoo-has. You get to see her Sydney Sweeney's. You get to see her beauty and her talent.
Wait, did I do that good? I haven't seen Xena in a while. You do it. You're good at voices.
I thought you were doing like a Durka.
No, because hers is really similar. I don't remember it.
No, I did. I used to watch.
Someone in chat do it.
I used to watch, even though we all hate women, right?
And Hercules.
I used to watch Xena and Hercules. Right? Yes.
Because there's Hercules and then Xena?
Yes. And then sometimes they would cross over.
Oh, now, yes.
I was a kid, so I didn't read into all the lesbian overtones of her and her little Gabrielle side partner. But yeah, probably. And I'm all right with that.
When you find out your aunt's best friend is actually her lesbian lover, yeah.
What?
Situation.
No wonder they're happy all the time.
They're always holding hands. They're really best friends.
Swingers. Swing
low, sweet cherry. All right. We are at the 20-minute mark. I think it's about time to pull up a headline.
Show us your tabs.
Who would have thought on this day of celebration we'd be a little long-winded on the intro?
Yeah, well.
Wait, do I move it over or not? I really like this camera working, and I'm afraid it's gonna freeze. We made it past 20 minutes without it freezing.
Go with it.
I can read it off the screen, right? You just might see me read like this.
It's the first time you've lasted 20 minutes in a long time. I'm proud of you. All that cardio's working off.
Yeah, that's how I watch the court mandated movies that you guys have assigned to me for community service hours. Sweet Baby Inc. style consultancy firm Gamer X consulted with Niantic before radical gender and avatar changes made in Pokemon Go. We discussed this yesterday, and I had texted my pretty normie-ish sister, but she's also quite based. Like, she had dated a dude who was going down rabbit holes and whatnot, and then like her current fiance, he's really into like conservative politics and stuff like that. So she's pretty darn based. But when it comes to gaming, you know, growing up, she'd play some Sega with me or whatever, but definitely not a gamer. She got so hooked on Pokemon Go, she started using a VPN and got banned for it. That's how hooked on Pokemon Go is. It's actually really adorable because her and her fiance play it together and they're all obsessed with it. And it's just like, it's lovely. It's the way that gaming can bring people together like that. It's wonderful until you get banned for VPNing. So,
by the way, I just want to say, liking and showing up and commenting is enough, guys. Like, if you can and want to super chat, 100% do it. But just showing up and liking is all we really actually ask of you. Like, grifting aside, that's just name for the game on the stream, and he's losing weight. You don't want him to eat noodles. But
I would never ask for something like that.
Just showing up
is enough. How dare you, Badger?
Thank
Keep
you.
Going.
Yeah. Keep going. He's the man's gonna die.
First tier's $50. Mention that, Badger. I would never dare do that.
We can't all be the heavy hitters. Even I sometimes get lost. Go, I probably shouldn't have sent that extra membership, but you know what? It's all in good fun, and I would have wasted it on something else.
I try to be nice because I know it is like a little addicting to some people, and I do not ever want to grift off of that.
And Rocky, they are not worth your hate. You should pity them. It's a sad, pathetic existence. It really is. And all we're doing is we're not even trying to spread hate. We're just trying to spread awareness of their grift and how they're grifting on already ruined shit. And just like, just feel bad for them, really.
This is actually, I was just thinking about this earlier. We've talked about it a bit. And
I mean, they're definitely racist, though. Against us, for sure. They fucking hate us.
Now, when we go to say evil, that is where I argue we're getting a little too hyperbolic. But at the same time, I'm not trying to tell people to stop. When I'm editing a video where Jeremy calls them evil, and then in the title and like thumbnail, he calls them evil, it's like, hey, I don't want them to ever change.
I would wager at least some of them are fucking evil, but a lot of them are just dummies.
When Elon Musk is calling things evil, now that's when we're definitely getting into hyperbole territory. But when you actually, like, I had to watch like hours of Kim Belair and whatnot, and she's not evil. She's just a well-meaning idiot. Most of these people are just suckers. Now, who we're talking about today, though, the CEO from NPR, this full-blown globalist, when we get to our politics section, this is a lady I don't mind you dropping the evil word on.
Yeah,
her connections and such. And because it's like, if we say Kim Belair's evil, then like, what is Bill Gates? You know, what's Klaus Schwab if we're starting evil at what like Kim Belair is? So I'm just like, obviously call her out and all that stuff, but let's save the evils for the Bill Gates.
Fucking hey, I want to point this. This is what I always try to point out, and then someone like Spoon Aristocratic Utensil back. No, they're all fucking the devil. It's like, no. Weaponized compassion. They're overly compassionate and not that bright. However, they hate. But that first part, that weaponized compassion, they're overly compassionate. That is the majority. That is the majority of everyday people who have just vaguely been paying attention to all this shit, and they're afraid they're on that wrong side of history. And that is weaponized compassion of them thinking that, we just wanted to save the, not realizing that they're actually doing harm, thinking they're doing good. And that's sort of what Elon Musk was.
More concerned about thinking they're doing good than about researching whether or not they are.
Yes, because it's just the minimal effort to feel like they're a good person.
And it's you gotta break that conditioning where at a certain point you have to realize, oh wow, I am being manipulated and lied to.
Yeah. Well, the problem is a lot of them will come to that conclusion. That's sort of what the Disney files, the D files on Film Threat, when they were calling the film industry the killer of dreams, is that like a lot of those kids that came in and got hired that were unqualified and then eventually got fired because they were unqualified, they themselves now realize, I got taken advantage of. Like that's you need to turn a lot of these people that are being taken advantage of and make them upset at what's happening, not alienate them by calling them evil. Call the evil ones evil, but a lot of them are just dumb, and we need to wise them up.
R2's getting in here. Before we pull that up, ramen noodles. Oh no, we can't. Ramen noodles for the emperor. R2 is always one of the like earliest people here, always commenting. Absolute pleasure to have you. And I snuck over to the grocery store and got some ramen noodles, and in the process had to hear Hayden going on about Bridge on FNT.
Well, he's doing a service because, like he says, it's a forest. And it's a overgrown forest.
So we got the GCA. We got like the Nagarnals. They stood up. They have their channels. They're going on. Lady R&D. Hell yeah. And Hayden's on that cusp. He wants to do a channel and make videos or stream or whatever, but he doesn't quite have enough time.
Right.
But if we get on him enough, we might be able to force him to find the time.
Yes.
And the fact that you want everyone to talk about Bridge, this is how I started doing this, because I couldn't know this stuff and keep it to myself. Everyone needed to know about it. So the second I went down the rabbit hole with like Alex Jones, I saved up money and then took a year off of work to make a website about all this stuff. So keeping, especially like Hayden, he's a news addict like I am. Keeping all that stuff inside, like you're fit to burst. Making a channel, even if it's not too many people, and getting it out, it's therapeutic. It's cathartic. You need to do it. And then once you start doing it, it feels so good. And you're like, I got to reach more people with it. Because first it's like, I just want to get it out. And then it's like, I got to get people listening to me.
Yeah, I've said it. I was ranting before I started recording this. I was already ranting. And it was like, I should probably just record this and maybe someone. And shockingly, people have listened. That's the scary part. Hayden, I don't have internet work. I can't stream.
I'll say, though, if you can ever manage to make it work, Hayden, I'm telling you, dude, you are going to have quite a few subscribers in your first week and viewers on your live streams that most people, when they start, are not going to have. You are going to have an immediate leg up. Everyone freaking loves you. Take advantage.
Do you think Jeremy would sue me if I do Jeremy Olstein? Do you think he would let me lease it out for a second? Badger Olstein?
Let's get it going. We got to get to 50.
To do a religious analogy, you, Hayden, got the Holy Spirit of YouTube in you. I feel it burning in you. You need to go. I'm going to do the black version of Olstein, though. You need to go, Hayden. You need to let that spirit of YouTube out of you. Preach it to the people. Do it, Hayden. We can hear you because the word can't be contained. The truth must come out. The truth about Bridge. All right. That's it. That's your 420 rant.
America.
Yeah, Hayden. The real truth is, Hayden, though, you won't be able to help yourself. The juice of super chatting what you're saying won't be enough anymore, and you will have to record. You'll do a car video, and that's how it'll start, with a Hayden car video, and from then on, we'll have the Hayden Wayne channel.
Yeah, well, we talked about where people got to hit that certain breaking point before they wake up. There's going to be some topic that Hayden just has to make some sort of content about it. I know it.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah, that really is what it is.
One thing that pushes you.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, we're all freaking busy. A lot of us are like broke and struggling. Warren doesn't have any talent, apparently. But even if we can't really make the videos and whatnot, there's so many other things we could all be doing. We all have at least one talent we could be using to help win against these freaking crazies, like this freaking NPR CEO. Actually, let me.
Yeah, so that's what Valiant was talking about here. I just want to say here, Quibono, Hayden throws around money around like Scrooge. I'll have you know that Hayden, unlike a lot of us,
hard as fuck for it. I'm assuming
Hayden is a responsible adult that's actually made something with his life, and he has been alienated by what he used to spend his money on because he got called racist and that they didn't want it. And so now he parallel economy or whatever, he spends it on people he actually likes and gives a shit about, and on things he likes and gives a shit about. So respect to the Hayden Waynes and the Alec Baldwin Fingers and the Alex Darbys and Joker's Disciples and Lauds and blah, 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 blah. Everyone in the R2 acts.
My secret agenda, like, I mean, one of the many reasons I came over was because how supportive all the people were. And from the beginning, I'm like, I'm all about trying to get people to stand up and fight this fight. And one of the big hurdles is it is kind of expensive, especially you want to get like a fancy mic or whatever. And though the people who do have the money are super busy, if they can manage to find the time, just DM me. I'll tell you what to buy. I forced this guy to buy a webcam. Yeah. Cheapest one there is, works better than mine. And he got on freaking open bar like a month and a half later.
I summoned him.
So
I was singing your praises, Alex. Just saying that like you and Alec Baldwin's Finger and Hayden, you guys are like helping keep channels alive with your support. Bono, man, you wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people started their career because of this.
And I love how supportive you are. And you don't need to do another thing if you don't want. But oh my God, do I want to get you up off your butts making videos too?
Yeah,
especially people like the Haydens and whatnot, Alec Baldwin's Fingers and such. You guys like have a hell of a head start. It's so hard to go from 0 to 1 subscribers. Going from 0 to 100 subscribers and 100 to 1,000 subscribers. If you're anyone but Badger, is really tough. So having that head start, it helps.
Hayden wears an all white suit with a big cowboy hat, and he has a big white Cadillac that has big horns on the front. And he talks like this. I just picture it that way. I don't have internet at work. I can't stream. Sorry. That's just how I'm picturing it. Because Texas and oil.
I was kind of hoping that Space Rebel would show up. I was missing an issue of Transmetropolitan I had to wait for, so I might have started reading something. Good. Badger tricked me and made me think this was a comic book.
No, I told you it was a lore book, but it was the OG lore.
Look at this.
It's the OG lore.
He tricked me into reading.
Look, did you see heteronormative Luke with his hot wife because he's not a fucking incel like they tried to make him? Yeah, that's the real Star Wars history right there in your hands, sir.
What's interesting is because Space Rebel and you got me to read the comic books. Stuff in here I already knew about, and then also I brought this up. I guess we'll bring it now. So not only have I been watching some classic movies, I also might have finally started Knights of the Old Republic.
Lies gay.
And from reading the comic books and then reading this, I actually like know some of the names and stuff that's going on.
Isn't it nice?
I told you I'm not a fake fan. Where's it at? Where are you at?
By the way, you too can entirely ignore everything Disney has done with the exception of maybe Cal Kestis and just go back to the expanded universe. It's right there. And thankfully, due to their alienation, it's pretty easily to get the ones that are still out there. Oh, Starky.
So no one told me Knights of the Old Republic is Star Wars Dungeons and Dragons.
It's dope, dude. It's what I bought my original Xbox for.
And even though it's like really old and a little janky at times, I'm really loving all the side characters and the stories and whatnot, and just like exploring everything.
They're perfection. How far did you get?
Oh, also, sorry, Grums isn't on here. We have a lot of Grums tweets, though, I swear.
Lies.
I didn't know. When you have like 15 tabs, it's really hard to know what to put in the thumbnail.
I just want to say, Sanguine, that is fair. I will tell you this much. I actually really like Cal. Cameron Monaghan is good at it, and they did not white male him. They did not make him pathetic. He doesn't get yelled at by the women. He is his own strong, independent character with agency. Somehow he snuck through.
Where's Hypno? Hypno, where are you at? You in
pronounce
chat?
his fucking. I don't want to call
gotta
him
stop calling him Grooms.
That's horrible.
Not. I thought you liked him.
Grooms is bad. That's something Alyssa Mercunte would call him.
No, I like that Hypno calls me gay all the time. If he started calling me Grooms, I would not be happy about it.
I'm going to take this as a compliment. I am endlessly impressed by you guys and your ability to just deliver a stream of consciousness with relevance and alacrity. Well, sir.
Alacrity.
Erwin doesn't know what alacrity is. It means speed.
My lacquer is all over the place.
Alacrity. I only know that because it's a D&D. It's a D&D stat, you motherfucker. I had to look. What is that?
Is it?
And in the Old Republic, alacrity is how quickly you can apply something. Like if you have an effect, your alacrity level, if it goes up, I don't know. Don't ask me. The first Jedi Fallen Order was good, but you know what, bro? I guess I said if you can get it discounted, I mean, I bought it full price and I liked it. The second one is good, and it makes me excited. Now I'm scared to ship for the third one because the guy that was running it left, so maybe don't do it. But it has an interesting reason for why we will never see him in the movies and why we've never heard of him. He's off doing his own thing somewhere, and I keep it that way.
Many of us may have forgotten, but we were talking about Pokemon Go and my sister. So doesn't play any games, but is hooked on it. So hooked on it, she got banned for cheating. So I wanted to know if they had changed her Pokemon or her trainer. and she got back to me. And turns out she's not happy with it. It changed. Because as we talked about, us real gamers in the in-game, we really just care how pretty our character looks. Because we're real gamers. Correct, Badge?
Oh, I'm actually really a clothing whore, so I always make someone that looks like me, but slightly better.
This dude keeps sending me his Fallout 76 outfits.
Yeah. By the way, tell me that Brotherhood Recon armor wasn't dope.
He won't stop. I'm telling you, he won't stop.
Well, you know what? My girlfriend Leona fully transitioned. Leon, he's playing 76. He appreciates my pictures. You think you're the only one that gets blessed by them?
$50. Wait, $50, and Badger has to put his Spider-Man costume on.
I'll put my Brotherhood Recon armor on. I've had Koto for years. What? Oh, Westward.
I had wanted to stream it, so I hadn't started it. But then I played Ni no Kuni, and it was really good. It's the one that Studio Ghibli art. And I was quite enjoying it. And then it's kind of like old school Final Fantasy where you got to like save at an actual save point. And I'd played for like an hour and a half and I'd wanted to go to bed like 30 minutes ago and there wasn't any save point. So I was just like, well, hopefully there's an autosave. And an hour and a half of my gameplay was just for nothing.
Shit.
So I said, all right, I'll come back to you in 2 to 3 years, maybe. And then I started this and I was like, wow, this isn't what I was expecting. But then as I was talking to characters, I usually skip a lot of the extra dialogue stuff. I've been going through like all the dialogue and what have you.
So first of all, I don't know how far you. I would just say dialogue from Jolie Bindu, a Black Jedi, is some of my favorite in all of the fucking lore. So there goes your Star Wars fans are racist shit.
It's diverse as hell. There are so many Black people in
and
it.
HK47, one of the greatest. I'll tell you, you want to talk about grifting? Here you go. I have videos that are unlisted from when I originally made the channel back in like 2006 of me voicing over some of the parts in KOTOR that maybe if you hit your likes, we could play for the stream later.
Oh, yeah.
You would hear me from 20 years ago voicing a character.
The reason Badger, I think, had his luck is because he did a really old channel that had gotten views beforehand, which should be a dead channel where he should have had no chance, but instead I think it gave him a head start.
I hope. That was my plan. I was like, I hope this gives a head start.
So what, it was like 10,000 views or something like that, which now you actually can hit on your own?
Some of those channels had
or
some of those.
A bunch?
It was like, yeah. No, some of those videos had. That's why when I came back,
give me a number.
Some of those videos had 50,000 views plus. Multiple videos had 50,000 views plus because it had been for over a decade just sitting there.
We're struggling to hit the 50 mark. We putting this at 50, or do you think it's worth more? Do you know? Tell us your.
Let me make sure I can find because I have them all unlisted. So let me make sure.
Send them to me.
Yeah, I sent you one just to show. Yeah, continue with. Let's talk about this, and then we'll come up.
Has Pokemon Go turned your character ugly yet? Question mark. Haha, yup, I'll send you a picture. And it sends me a picture. And my sister, she is like 5'2", and for most of her life, has been between like 100 and 110 pounds. So she's like little and little. So her character is bigger than her and is the smallest character. And then she ends up sending me all the body types. And if she were a large gal, she wouldn't have any problem making a character that looks like her. But, well, so women can feel better about themselves. My sister's not allowed to have a character that looks like her anymore.
Yeah, well, that's how they do. It's supposed to be inclusive. It's not.
So, lol, it's a big news story. Women are pissed. And I was like, that's what we're talking about, how this is reaching a segment of the gamers that normally don't get reached by this Gamergate adjacent type stuff. So I wanted to see if my sister knew about it. Lamau, what do you say? Yeah, we're not talking about it on the stream. Oh yeah, just talked about it on the stream. Josh, someone, her fiance thinks the characters look fat in all caps. And that's the skinniest body type. Want to see the other options? And then she sends me all the other options, which are yeah. Let's see if I can do it without doxing
by the way,
everything.
Pazak in Knights of the Republic is a legit fun game. It's like blackjack. Oh god, yeah. And by the way, Mr. Tech Rat's body was ruined in this. His Pokemon Go character, he got turned into a potato. He got turned into a potato. And
all of them are just like, why didn't you just give us other options? So it's like, keep our character, but then we can change to these new ones. Nope, can't have that.
The constant sloshing doesn't drive you crazy. I will never understand.
And then she said, I told my buddy from work about your text and showed him too and told him to check out your YouTube. He's a big time nerd. So in the process of this, I might have picked up a subscriber. Thank God I need him. And then
He's pondered it, but he's not in that much. He's not desperate yet.
I've thought about it extensively. Like I said, I'm getting another timeline. Sadly, not this one. And if you think that's stupid, you're a chronophobe. And then she says, in all caps, look, I can play as a fat girl. And then sent me a picture of what her character would look like in that body type. And then 3 laughing emojis. And then she brought this up, which Badger was a fan of. And today is Bellsprout Community Day. Bellsprout, the little plant. 420, and it's number 69 in the Pokédex. It can learn Magical Leaf tomorrow only.
It's
Pokemon celebrating 420.
Are they celebrating, or is that a little tongue-in-cheek, little jokey joke?
It's Bellsprout Community Day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I consider myself a chronosexual, and you would be a chronophobe if you don't believe me.
Yeah, this is the real one.
Something else I put too much thought into.
I'm looking forward to Bellsprout Day.
It's not as much thought as I'm going to have put into the Jedi and Sith by the end of this. Badger and Space Rebel got me.
Any one of those stories and explanations would have been more exciting. It should have been Gloom. Yeah. Should have been because of the... Or should have been Coffee.
Bellsprout, and then it goes Gloom. Well, I was thinking Bellsprout looks like you could take like Bellsprout's mouth and just like then
you could do
the
what?
bubble sound starts.
There's a whole nother jokes for that one.
No,
yeah.
you take Bellsprout's mouth and you do the thing that you're going to do when we hit the 50 mark.
Peanut butter.
Lord willing.
Coffee.
Gloom. I never liked Gloom. He was too ugly. I did always use the Vile Bloom or whatever the third one was.
Yeah.
I mostly cheated in Pokemon. I used Gengar so they couldn't hit me. I used Snorlax so you could fly up in the air. I used Zapdos so you could fly up in the air. Dugtrio so you could dig. I just did all of the you can't hit me Pokemon, and then the bam. And then the you can't hit me, and then bam. And then I cheated so hard and got the 99 rare candies with the miss and go hack.
I would always just try and get my Ivy, like
Haxor.
either Ivysaur, get it up to Ivysaur and just Razor Leaf, Sunbeam, like max level Sunbeam, or get Blastoise with Wave. That's how I would beat the final trainers, dude. Spam Blastoise with Wave. It was so OP. I don't know if I could do it now.
Did you go Weedle or Caterpie first? I was a Beedrill kind of guy myself.
Or
are you more a Butterfree? You're from California, so
I
you're
would
probably
get them for the
Butterfree.
Codex. No, I would never actually use them. They would never stay in my inventory. I'm immediately switching you out at the first Pokedex center.
Speaking of other people who stood up,
I miss
kicking some butt.
and yeah, I never played Pal World, even though it's free on like several different things I own.
So while doing research, I think for an edit, I was going through an article and I was like, "Oh, hey, that's Pal World." It was Pokemon Arceus. So at first, you were seeing Pal World thinking it was Pokemon. Now we've gotten to the point where Pal World was so big. I saw Pokemon and thought it was Pal World. Pal World 1.
I can't unsee it.
Pal World 1.
Yeah, black on black, because I'm progressive. You're floating that thing.
Yeah, you're like a mega corporation during Twitter during the summer of love.
Yeah. Here, I can talk about my amazing thing that can test blood types. Remember that lady that pretended to be?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Steve Jobs.
I know this. So I keep putting this in this clip in videos, and Jeremy was actually concerned that it was going to get demonetized, and I'm like, no, I've used it a bunch. Also, oh my god, I hope it doesn't get demonetized. But yeah, such a good shot that even Jeremy was like, oh, this seems a little too risque. For those that don't know, right after this, like her normal like green clothes show up on her. So in the game, you can have this basically like nude costume as your clothing, but you lose your shield. So you can have this costume, but you're playing on hard mode at that point.
Well, I say hardcore people that are actually gamers, of course.
I like
do
that.
it with shout out.
Oh, 6 days away.
Options.
This game is gonna be. So we were talking about like. R2 out here. So that's what 35. So at 15, we're 15 away from first goal. See you, man. Excellent work. I mean, honestly, I think I think every time Alex Darby hooks it up, I mean, we kind of got to whip her out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I haven't got to show her off on the good camera yet. She's a little white.
Nothing wrong with that. Don't hate her. She's a little white.
Whoops.
She's white adjacent.
The ab lines on it are mesmerizing. Worth every dollar. Worth every dollar that you guys spent for me. Look, that's what I'm saying. Even like, oh gosh, come on, I'm not here.
Like a month.
I'm not here. Like, look at the back of them knees.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
I love it. Like I said, I really wish I had 2 of these so I could show one this way and then I show this one this way. For science.
I mean
art.
Oh
for
my
art.
God.
For art. I care about art. Hey, we're at 69 viewers. So back to the art. Oh wait, no, not back to the art. Alex Darby, an absolute legend. Absolute legend.
Let's see if this works.
R2 really wants to see Badger get into the Spider-Man costume.
Do you want to see this? See if this works?
Oh yeah, we got to it. Yeah, go. Yeah,
this
go
has 6.3 thousand views from 15 years ago.
All right, I'm going invisible. BRB.
Go ahead. This was high quality 15 years ago. Okay, this is the highest quality you could upload on YouTube 15 years ago. This is me. I guess spoilers. God damn you, Hayden. We'll get to you 1 second. I love you.
Hayden.
I haven't seen this in 15 years.
You're back. But where's Bastila? Is she alive? What happened inside that temple?
Bastila has fallen to the dark side. She fled to the Starforge.
The dark side? Bastila? No.
That's cringe.
No, how could that happen?
Is that the guy? Is that the guy from Open Bar?
Dark side, Carl. Bastila was strong, but she was always impatient and headstrong. Malik preyed upon her weakness.
Once again, spoiling.
This planet is a tainted place. The Starforge and the Temple have twisted the Force into an instrument of evil, just as Malik has twisted Bastila into a servant of the Sith.
But she can still be saved, can't she?
Malik has a strong hold on Bastila now. It will be difficult for her to break free of his influence, especially considering her long association with you. Remember the bond that was forged between you when she rekindled the spark that was your life. Through that bond, she touched your memories, and also the echo of the dark taint within you.
Taint. I hope so, right? I mean, Revan rejected the dark side, so Bastila could too, right? We still might be able to save her.
We can try, and we will.
I don't know what fate awaits us, but I sense Bastila still has a role to play in the events to come.
It's painful.
I have no doubt she will be waiting for us on the Starforge.
No doubt. But let's go then before she has time to organize a bigger welcoming committee.
So I just like to say your voice acting has improved, but I think that was just cringe enough to sate these very generous people.
At least for now. Give me time to recover from that one.
You said there's more?
Oh, there are other videos of that. Yes. Fucking 15 years ago.
Wait, was that the 50K one?
No, I'll go look and see which ones.
Well, we're at 100, so I feel like we kind of owe the people some more cringe.
No, so the one that has 50,000 views is the Bastila duel with dubbed Revan. That has 50,000 views.
Spoiler!
Yeah. Spoiler for this 20-year-old game. Yeah, that is the highest. Oopsie.
Higher and higher. Play it for your fans.
I mean, do they want this? It's 6 minutes long.
Guys, when you first start making videos, they're gonna probably suck.
Oh yeah, this is the cringe me, yeah.
And then you can get on Open Bar. So start with the cringe, get the cringe out of the way, and then later people will give you money to show the cringe.
I don't think I would have gotten on Bar if this had been my YouTube channel. I'll tell you that much. All right. I'll play this. You guys tell me if you want to go back, because we're going to lose subscribers to this. But yeah, this is original Angry Badger content, dubbing Revan. Hold on, stop this. Of course, I'm doing it wrong because I'm all discombobulated. Okay. Cancel.
Yeah,
Okay.
I started making mockumentaries like I watched Pure Ownage in the Guild, and so it was like scripted, and it was yeah. So I also had some cringe beginnings. We all do. So go ahead and get started and get all that cringe out the way. And you need any help? Just hit me up.
This is painful. Yeah, that's why people are like, "Oh, some of your earlier videos aren't bad." I'm like, "Those aren't my earlier videos." Those aren't my earlier videos.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: everyone deletes their early videos unless they're like heel versus babyface or crazy people like Geeks and Gamers.
I unlisted them, so that's why. Sorry, I'm having to find it again. Don't worry, we'll keep bullshitting while we do. Yeah, unfortunately, it took me a while to unlist them, so they kept going far longer than I wanted to. But yeah, I do think that helped when I came back. Okay, visibility, private.
So
Sorry.
Speaking of accidentally having unlisted things that people see, at the end of this stream, which, wow, I have a lot of tabs to go through with an hour and 10 minutes left. Here at 3, after we end, I'm going to premiere the very first part of my 10-part documentary, Gamergate 2, a documentary, assuming that name gets traction in the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah,
so,
you might want
hey,
to change that.
Little watch part. Well, we'll see how it does. I'm writing, a lot of his writing on documentary. And as all the people who told me my last documentary wasn't a documentary showed me, call everything a documentary.
Okay, so here we go, because you guys are masochists and you've dropped all these things.
Cringe.
This is my cringe, and this is cringe. I don't have a problem watching my recent shit. I got a problem watching this, apparently. But this is me.
Oh, it's hard. It's
15 plus years ago.
Wait, remember back in the day? We're old people. Remember back in the day when you'd hear yourself on a message like machine?
The comments of this aren't actually eviscerating me from 15 years ago. They're actually pretty kind. So just take it for what it is. But here we go. Oof. I'm going to get owned for this one.
Yes. Cringe.
Revan, I knew you'd come for me. Malak thought you might be afraid to enter the temple again, but he doesn't know you like I do. Not anymore.
Wait, is that a strong woman in Star Wars? A character that people actually like?
By the way, shout out to the fact that I modded the hell out of this. So this isn't what they'll look like, and you will probably get a different sequence because this is choice dependent. Some stuff, I mean, some things happen. You'll probably see a lot. But the point is, don't worry too much about the spoilers. Just take it and make fun of me. Just take
Badgers
it.
Badgers are pro, is what he's trying to say.
Bestila, come with us. We have to escape before Malak arrives. Escape? You don't understand. I've sworn allegiance to Lord Malak and the Sith. I'm no longer a pawn of the Jedi Council.
A pawn of the Jedi Council?
Spoiler!
What are you talking about?
Surely you know what I mean, Revan. Look at what the Council did to you. They turned you into their puppet. The same thing they do to all who are truly strong in the Force. They speak of the dark side as if it is something to be feared, but in reality their only goal is to manipulate those who are strong in the Force. The fear of the dark side is a tool to maintain control. Why do you think the Jedi forbid you and Malak?
The dark side's bad?
It's not. By the way, yeah, this is Star Wars before, not the acolyte shit. We're like, oh, there's no such thing as good and evil. There were no women in Star Wars. And by the way, yeah, if you grift for 15-year-old Badger, you may get spoilers. Sorry, it won't ruin the game for you.
I knew you would realize your true potential and break free of their domination. Malak has shown me how the Jedi Council have been using me the same way they once tried to use you. They've been holding me back because they knew one day I would surpass them all.
No, I don't believe it. How could you betray us like this?
I resisted at first. I endured the Sith torments with the passionless serenity of a true Jedi, emptying my mind. But after a week of...
So you can own me because I am the one choosing what he says, and then obviously I'm just voicing what they wrote, but I choose to say a line that I will get owned for, I know.
In those tortures, I finally saw the truth.
Fucking Bastila simp mode.
Me to acknowledge my anger and pain. He showed me the liberating...
Okay, but to be fair, Lod, it's supposed to be dramatic. Like, this is supposed to be a huge, like, crazy moment that the strongest heart amongst them is now boo-boo-bee-boo evil. So it is supposed to be dramatic. I love that outfit.
Power of these emotions. Then he made me see how the Jedi Council has denied me what is mine by right. The Jedi Council gladly used my battle meditation in their wars, but they still treated me like a child, like an inferior. They were jealous of my power.
Yeah, I'm coping fine.
They wanted me to bow and call him master and follow their code and obey their every
Let the man talk.
But all the while they were exploiting my battle meditation for their own use.
Don't do this, Bastila. Fight it. I'll help you.
You are a sad little fool.
This guy's an
You
open
speak as if I
bar.
were the same Bastila that you've known all along. But free from the control of the Jedi Council, I
All right,
can
one
do
more.
much,
We gotta call it.
much more. I
Dear
almost wish you
God,
could see
stop
things
it
as I
now.
do I wish you could join me and taste true
Let's see.
power. once
Fast
again.
forward. I want to hear one more line.
You want to hear one more? Here, let's go see one. Then it's a fight.
I will say your voice acting has greatly improved.
Yeah, well,
The nice microphone probably helps a little too.
probably.
On that bridge.
We're forever linked by a lot more than just a bond.
You happy? I feel dirty. We all feel dirty.
Now that
No.
sounds like some Ahsoka writing right there.
I want you to play the shower scene from Ace Ventura that you use in your documentaries. That's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go scrub myself. Yeah, clip. That being said, yeah, I'm a Bastila simp. I fucking love Bastila.
I just started. I haven't seen Bastila, but
I don't know how.
You know what? A strong woman who also she kind of diddles the dark side a little too. Spoiler free.
Things happen. Yeah, well,
okay.
It's dependent greatly on how you treat her and whether or not you're able to do.
So I will say,
things.
I wanted to stream it because I wanted chat to decide what I did if I was like good and evil and stuff. But this for first run, I'm doing all good, even when I don't want to be good. And oh boy, do I often not want to be good. And then for the second one, I was going to do a full evil run.
I'm a spoiler. The spoiler. That would be my villain.
Quite the villain. Well, what we need to discuss next then is Back to the Future 2. Is that what I'm watching? Hence the
I fucking
costume.
hope, unless someone directly outbids and just was like, no, override. Yeah,
we got
R2,
R2, Hayden, and Darbs. One of you guys, if you have a different option, let me know. Otherwise, I think we're watching some Back to the Future 2.
Yeah. I say Hayden and
make it
Darby
quick because
sure
I
get equal.
cannot use a mouse with these.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a.
Can't grab it.
Speaking of, we need a Hobo Spider-Man out here soon. But we got an hour left.
Answer your DMs, you
I
fuck.
have DMs. What did you do? I can't hear DMs.
Probably did horrible voice acting
God,
years
oh
ago.
my God, this is what he does to me. He knows I'm too freaking busy to come on stream, and he asked me to come on stream just so he can call me gay. Hey, no, I'm about to send you an invite. You coming on stream or decide whether or not I'm watching Back to the Future 2.
Say if you want to come on stream, you can call him gay to his face.
I have to do I have to edit part 2 because I don't know how else. Like, I'm gay. I'm gay. Okay.
Say no.
I know. Look at
no,
me.
do it. Do it. Say it.
I don't know what am I already said it. I can't come on.
Say no.
I can't come on.
Say it. Do it. I don't know. I'm just doing the fucking.
I picked up a third editing job. I swear I might be begging and grifting, but I am also working hard. And I really wanted to play some Risk or watch a movie tonight. And
Our ESG numbers go up every time you do shit like this. No. Flaming.
Thank
Why
you.
Are you gay?
We in the future actually we took it back. Like queer, flaming's now a good thing.
This is hetero abuse.
Flame on. All right.
Can't wait.
So Back to the Future 2. And going in 5. We're going in 4. Do I hear 40? Do I hear 41?
Yeah, I think you
3.
watch Back to the Future 2.
All right.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, unless someone comes in and yells at you, I think you should.
Wait,
because you've
coming
already
in the
started
alley?
it.
Oh, super chat.
Yeah, so you need the catharsis. You'll probably want to watch the third one when you're done with the second one.
So wait, I think we have something for that. I think it's near the bottom.
I forced myself to completion, and it was painful.
No.
Very
I wanted to play some Risk. I haven't heard somebody say that since I was in middle school, and it was me saying it. He plays Risk.
One of my friends happens to be a boomer because it's my buddy's dad, and he's a talker. He talked on and on about how he wanted to make a podcast, still freaking does it. And me getting so annoyed at him talking about that and not doing it is one of the things that motivated me. I'm talking about like things that finally get people up off their ass. I was sick and tired of him going on about how he needed to start a podcast, not doing it. So I started one. And then that's what eventually led into what you guys are seeing now. So he kept bringing up Risk. So I got it on my Switch because it was on sale. So we played one of those, and then eventually that got us to actually get the board game out. So we actually sat around and played board game Risk, but it's so much faster on Nintendo.
You know what's funny about Shad? We were talking about Shadversity itself does have a large channel. some of the channels I watch, like outside of this world, when I'm just watching YouTube trying to get away, because I'm gay, I watch Tasting History with Max Miller. If you've never watched that dude's channel, really good. He basically makes dishes from classical history and then does history on the shit. It's really interesting. And he brought up Shadversity and that he watches Shadversity. It's like, you would never guess what channels out there actually watch the people like connected all together. So yeah, shout out to Shad.
We're getting more and more mainstream, and as Pokemon Go uglifies their characters, the Stellar Blade does the opposite.
I'm
more
glad
and more people.
I'm not alone, dude. Max Miller is a really cool dude. He's got a flair for it. He makes the dishes really well, and it's really funny how he's able to talk about like making the last dish on the Titanic, and then like going from everyone dying to be like, and now let's taste what they eat. They ate. Fucking doesn't put you off.
I do watch some cooking stuff
also
on
not
YouTube.
putting you off is the Stellar Blade boobs and bod.
Well, it depends. Is it a male gaze doing it? And not the male gaze like me in another timeline, the good kind of male gaze. Attractive to who? Attractive to anyone who likes attractive women, I think would be the who in this situation. Well, to be fair, we do think everything is gay, so
I think Hayden just exposed his kink. Bro, check OnlyFans. There's
Like
someone that does that.
Like a museum librarian like type.
These snozberries taste like snozberries.
Are you about to put Eve in a like pantsuit? How dare you?
Go get one of my swords.
So basically, this was just about exactly what you would think. Male gaze. Blah blah blah. Attractive to who? Oh my god, it's everything. It's not about making games less sexy. It's about making games more sexy for more people. So less sexy then. So like we got the bell curve. We don't want the attractiveness at the top of the bell curve. We want the hyper attractive.
They really don't
like
want
99%.
They don't want the male gaze. They don't want that. They want the gaze, but they don't want their gaze. G-A-Z-E.
It always comes back to the whole Mattel study or whatever, where women, like boys and girls, play differently, and how they want to become the heroes like themselves, where we want to, become Spider-Man. They're like, I want Spider-Man to be me because I'm the best. So we can be like, oh, here's attractive people, but they're like, no, it has to look just like me. But then Kim Belair tells the story all the time about how she would always make white characters in character creations. And then
that
one
was
day,
the dumbest fucking...
Mass Effect 3, she had this realization, wow, I can make a black person. And then this black person talked to another black person in a character.
I find this important because Mass Effect is important to me. So apparently, she was such a dummy that she didn't realize that she could make her Shepard.
No, she knew.
Male or female. And
she knew she could make black people.
Or felt guilty or something? Yeah.
Society made her feel like she couldn't, which is, the American Society of Magical Whatevers. Yeah, it covers a lot of this, and I was going to bring her up earlier.
Her black shepherd talked to Jacob, and she had a fucking revelatory experience, and then decided that other people weren't going to have that revelation experience of having black shepherd talk to Jacob. And she wanted, and that's why the forcing of it. It's like, but not everyone would be looking at it from your point of view.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to make a black character for black people to talk to each other. So I could have done it, but I chose not to, and I kept making Nathan Drake. And that was like her coming to God moment of why she's on her diversity crusade, because she's incredibly racist. And she talks about like when she was a kid and stuff, she was all obsessed with all this race stuff. And it's just like, Canadians, y'all need to get yourselves under control.
And that's the other thing we're seeing is now modern day women are like, I can't find a man. I can't find a strong. They're all wafy. What you would do old days call. It's like, well, yeah, because you turned them all into little afraid to be toxic pussies.
Yeah, I've been watching some Harrison Ford movies, so I've been seeing some toxic masculinity, and I must say, he just kisses women without consent a lot.
She wanted
kind
it.
Of his
that
thing.
dame wanted it. She just didn't know it yet, and he was gonna show her.
Some of them are 3-year-old robots. Some of them are super hot Yahtzees.
Get off my plane. Another movie he's never seen, right? Because you didn't get the reference. Get
Air
off
Force
my
One.
plane. Yeah, all right, fuck you, because you saw the trailer. Yeah,
it's between that and Con Air.
Yeah, Con Air is a good one.
So this brings us to, because that article was cited in this article from Kotaku. Hades 2 is the kind of hot we need right now. Wait, Kotaku? They support the male gaze? And this is Alyssa Mercunte.
Mercunte. Say it right.
Mercunte.
It's Chowda. Say it right.
So, you know how she's kind of a whore sex worker, I mean?
You mean she's an entrepreneur of the original job variety?
It's the oldest profession, so that makes it okay. It's the oldest profession because it's what really desperate people do. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, well.
Sex work, and I'm body positive. That's why I post the pictures of me being super manly on Twitter, because I'm body positive. And Hades 2 is the kind of hot we need right now. Supergiant Games has once again reminded us that they can make incredibly hot characters, which these characters, so you haven't played it, the characters don't move. They just pop up. Like it's just these like PNG basically.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever get to see them really do anything.
The one on the far right has Crush Me Mommy vibes.
So Aphrodite was in the first one.
Oh shit, I said far right. Oh no.
Was hot.
Oh no.
I don't know who that is. Like, I'm assuming a Valkyrie. They get some Valkyrie like type people in here with the wings. I don't even know who that's going to be. But yeah, she definitely has some Crush Me Mommy vibes, which is what they are like really into because they love that gender confusion stuff going on. Which, hey, I appreciate a strong woman, but they do like the
positivity Hephaestus.
Yeah, like we were talking about yesterday, they do the love bombing. So whenever they see someone like that, or they see like an absolute twink or something, they always love bomb it like it's the best thing they've ever seen. And so in this one, she is apparently part of the male gaze. I'd seen this on her Twitter where she's like, look, I'm watching hockey with my fiance eating wings or, oh wait, yeah, no, one of our people was eating some like pizza watching the game. And he's like, oh, I feel so bad for her. She doesn't get to be, you know, cool nerd gamer like me. And she's like, look, I'm one of the boys too. I also watch hockey and stuff. So she wants to be one of the boys. But then at the same time has all men are enemies tattooed by her butt.
Yeah, that's what I aim for.
They are obsessed with gender and they hate gender and they're gender confused. And we talk about like the whole trans joy thing and how Kim Belair is really obsessed with bringing joy to underrepresented, marginalized people. They're obsessed with this mythic joy. And that's one thing with, I think, 40K they've been talking about. Oh, why do you care so much? Doing these little changes brings joy to people. So this weird, mythical, nebulous joy, they're like all chasing after, and they will never ever find it because it's not outside of them.
Kooky,
it's
spooky high.
Yeah. So she's one of the guys. She even says, "Yeah, it looks like the sequel will be even hotter. Take that, cancel pigs."
It sounded like that's what she was trying to be. One of the guys.
Is she watching? Oh, did she watch Saturday Night Hypnosis? Is she one of the big at Army now? Did we
she definitely watches Saturday Night Hypnosis. We know that much because she likes to take pictures and
we pipelined her. Well, honestly, she probably does get that sent to her.
She
probably doesn't actually watch
pipeline before, but
the way it's going, she is definitely going to.
Oh, I bet you she watches. I bet you she watches and reads the comments. That's the point. They're all vapid narcissists. Good or bad, people are talking and referencing her, and she knows. She sure as fuck follows Grums around. So, yeah, of course she watches.
She's writing her article that's going to save Kotaku so they don't have to do game guides or whatever. So is this her pretending to be one of us now?
Maybe.
But she's also writing the article. She like trying to soften us up. It's weird.
Maybe Hypno can pull a Ryan. Ryan saved Bree. Maybe Hypno can get her.
I'm saving Kim Belair.
And you're saving Kim Belair. Hey, we got white knights all around town. Maybe Hypno can bring her back to sanity. Maybe. Who knows?
Do you think we can bring Alan Richkinson back to sanity?
We have to. I would love to have a conversation with this man. I really would. This sounds like
Have
a
him on
dude
the
that
stream.
watched.
Just send an email and it'll come on the
Apparently,
stream.
that's all you have to do. I really would, because it sounds like this is a guy that has just read a couple headlines and he believes it. If all it would take is for him to watch one video of that Carol, whatever the fuck, Baskin Robbins and her cat vagina and painting the rocks blue, and thinking that rape is sexy and all the things she said, that it would dissuade that argument and everything else. It's just like, no. I mean, I know Ryan likes to dunk on people. No, I don't think that just because he plays Reacher, he's some right wing, whatever, Trump first. But it's like he is a delusional a bit.
Did I mention he just wears blue jeans and this blue shirt the whole time? Everyone's wearing like 1940s stuff, and he's just wearing blue jeans and a blue t-shirt.
Well, they're very comfortable. He's a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy.
And those glasses, and then a bad Swedish accent.
Yeah.
And then he's like cutting people's hearts out and stuff.
Well, that's fun.
I want to like him. I know, exactly. But that's like, I will say a lot of people seem to be giving it is good, not great, which is what I gave it. And that's because his whole thing was, I have a knife and I shoot arrows and stuff. If they given a little more story to him, a little more character, I would have been happy to give it a higher score.
Yeah, I think the assumption is that Richson was maybe like a Chris Pratt, Jeremy Renner, Keanu Reeves, but like at the very least, he's smart, but he just doesn't talk about politics. But then he openly comes out and he sounds like a fucking Mark Ruffalo. And it's like, oh, God. Gosh, why can't we have nice things in the real world too? This is why all celebs just need to stop.
The American Society of Magical Bleeps, which sounds so much worse than saying it.
Yes.
At the end, his whole big break is that he's like, I just found out today that my life matters because people are like all out trying to kill me if I do what they're not expecting me to do. His whole breakthrough moment was he realized that his life mattered because society told him he didn't matter, which is exactly the Kimball Air. I didn't know. Yeah. I thought I had to make every character Nathan Drake. I didn't know I make them black character.
Because they have been raised in an echo chamber, just not one made by white people. They have been raised to have a victim narrative in their head, which is why you get those beautiful moments of Morgan Freeman owning on Don Lemon back in the day, talking about like, stop, bitch. You ain't been held back. Stop it. Look at where we've gotten. But they're influenced by ideology. They're told they're
and this gets into why the lower level people, I don't think it's too fair to call them evil. It's definitely an evil ideology that they are a part of. A lot of them are just well-meaning idiots. Suckers. And which is sometimes even more dangerous. It's the mainstream. Like it's what's like default, you know? So there, but for the grace of God, go us. If we didn't have that moment that woke us up, you know,
it's just getting tiring. It's like, oh, stop, please. Haven't they realized it's costing them money and roles and in some way, shape, or form?
I was telling Badge before this, like at this rate, next thing he's going to come out on his stance on Israel versus Palestine. Like his PR agent is apparently on vacation. So speaking of someone who clearly doesn't have a PR
what do those PR agents even do anymore? Oh, the former CIA operative Tom King.
Yes, and we'll be talking about alleged CIA agents after this as well.
Had Batman left at the fucking altar and then further stripped of his wealth because toxic white men reasons. Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
So the last time we talked about this was because in his Wonder Woman, they had a supervillain J6 at the Capitol Mall or whatever, or National Mall. So now the bad guy starts spouting a bunch of Christian stuff, and it's kind of like the devil tempting Jesus by quoting scripture, but no, they 100% play him up as being Christian, and he's clearly this bad guy, and he's literally quoting scripture to say, you're a woman, I'm a man, you have to know your place because Adam was born first, kind of a stuff. And
that's not what the Bible says.
100%. And yeah, I don't even remember his name, the sovereign. Yeah, so he's all about being the king. So he's supposed to be like the elitist that we talk about, this guy. Yeah. And it's like, no, those elitists are the ones pushing this crap onto these useful idiots like Tom King.
Oh, and useful he is, unfortunately, just for the wrong side.
It's not your fault, my dear. It is God's words, God's works, God's will. You cannot save anyone because you are not a son. You will
never be a Custodes because you are not a son.
You are but a daughter. And that, my dear, you shall always believe. So, yeah, it 100% is definitely some anti-Christian. Which, like,
well,
if we could do this to, say, other religions, then okay, that'd be one thing. But no, they always just attack Christianity. The weird thing is Richardson is a Christian who just called out Christianity.
Right. Which really...
But for all the wrong reasons.
You would think he would know that only the one up high can judge, and judge not lest ye be judged, and all that fun shit they say. So in other words, why are you caring? Shouldn't you be forgiving, and forgiveness?
And it's like, I mean, he talks about the maps in the Vatican. That obviously is a thing, but they just like using that crap as a cudgel. It's like calling someone a colonizer kind of a situation.
A lot of that going around.
Yeah. So, speaking of colonizing, apparently middle schools have been getting colonized by furries. Students stage walkout to protest furries in middle school. I believe I've talked about this before on stream.
You told me about this, and I hadn't heard this.
My little niece and nephew know what furries are because, like, kids in school draw furries and stuff. And our stance is always like, like Tobias on G&G Daily, being a furry one, not like adults, or we like the gay or the trans stuff, and it's like and let adults do adult things. The problem is stop infecting the children.
Yeah, it's where.
And they're like, we're totally not doing that. Y'all are just like having a panic, like in one of those old Christian ladies in the 80s who were right about everything.
Oh, someone please think of the children.
And that's basically what the school said. Like, we got there's no furries. Y'all got fake news. This is social media fake news outrage. Yeah, but that's the thing. They shouldn't even know what furries are. So the whole thing was blah, blah, blah. It's fake. But then now video has come out and yeah, the whole thing was they let furries wear their furry costumes, be furrying it up in school, which we weren't even allowed to like dye our hair and stuff for the longest time, or couldn't have like weird spiky hair and stuff because of dress codes. Now they're like, yes, children, be furries. And when you give just a little bit of freedom to like the crazies and the degenerates, they take too much. And allegedly the furry started like biting children and like causing problems.
Unfortunately, it's sort of something to do with this because I didn't have a phone in school until like high school. And then it was like you couldn't have it out. And now it's they're everywhere. You can't take that away.
Yeah, just saw like a study a day or two ago where all like 8 to 12-year-olds basically all own a phone. And there's like 20-25% of like 3-year-olds have a phone.
Yeah, so maybe you'd learn about sex early at like 8 or 9 in school because some asshole turd about it. Like back in the day, right? You'd maybe find out some shit you shouldn't have early because like a happenstance or someone else. Now it's just like you could just open your phone and find out everything. And you have fucking algorithms that throw crazy shit.
So some of those emails were misinterpreted and parents took to online formats to voice some of their concerns and questions. And this was all fake news. And this is what they try to do with all the like video game stuff or wokeness in Hollywood. They say, it's not happening. You're imagining it. Gaslight, gaslight, gaslight. And then, yeah, the video came out and the furries have colonized the middle school. And children shouldn't even know what furries are. And that's the thing. They just think it's cute and like mascot thing.
Right.
Being a furry isn't about cute mascot stuff.
It's sweaty, ugly people.
Or it's about orgies and doing lots of drugs before said orgies.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, sounds a lot of fun, but you should wait until you're an adult. Especially at Geeks and Gamers in the Morning, where they kept trying to get Ryan to go to a furry convention.
I don't think it's very radical to say keep the weird degenerate sex creeps away from the children. I feel like
all the shit. That's the point. Notice
pretty
that, like,
moderate position.
All of the actual objections from most of this shit in the last couple of years has all just been like, yeah, but could you stay away from kids? Could you not have drag time story hour? Could you not have furry? Could you just stay away from the kids? Notice that that's the only constant through all of it. I don't give a fuck what you do when you're 18, as long as it doesn't affect me and mine. Well, stay away from kids.
We talk about that breaking point for people, and for a lot of people, it's kids. Like, I mean,
it's like, where's the fucking confusion?
Like, Lady Aaron D is a homeschooler. I assume there was some moment that like broke her and was like, I can't have this be happening to my kids. And that's how a lot of times it is for women. Once they start coming for the kids, that mama bear instinct kicks in, and then that's when we get some strong woman representation.
I say, Asmongold did a reaction to Drinkers too. I'm gonna do an Inception. I'm gonna do a reaction of the fucking thing.
Oh my god.
He did. His face has the what the fuck is going on look the entire time. And that's and we talked about it. It's in the title. The world wakes up to the woke cult. Yes, it's by no means victory, but yes, yeah. Hey, buddy. But yes, they are. People are starting to like. What is going on there? I turn on the TV.
It's a slow process.
You not. Sometimes I'll put on like I have YouTube TV. I'll put it on.
Oh hell yeah!
Every single commercial, it has a white couple, a white and black. Like you know what I'm saying? One's white, one's black. Either the wife or and they look like they have no chemistry. It's just nope. Make one of them white, one of them black. Out of 3 or 4 commercials, 3 of them will be just like that perfect diversity. People are starting to notice. They're starting to notice.
And going to like Korean Korean shows where there's zero diversity.
98 for 10. The dumbest group in America. Sound like Shad. America are still covering. They fucking are still covering their faces. If you're still worried about cold, even though it's over for 99% of people, then you're ultra retarded. 4 years of group. Let me explain something to everyone real quick. Okay,
say it right.
The COOF particles are microns smaller than anything. So if you have a mask and you can breathe through it, the COOF can go right through it. And it always
You're going to get us banned from all of social media, Badger.
Now, they actually agree with this now, thankfully. I think they even said back in the day, it's the equivalent to throwing sand at a chain link fence. And even Fauci admitted he lied.
Yeah, remember
he lied to stop panic.
When I was in middle school, we had Fauci fear-mongering us that we were all going to get AIDS. And they're like, a condom won't stop it because here's a basketball and all this crap.
And if you,
but then they're like, wear a mask. It works. It's science. Don't ask questions or we're going to ruin your life.
That book that Bobby Kennedy, the real Anthony Fauci, he's not been sued yet. You know, he hasn't been sued because there's receipts in it. And apparently all that shit is true. So yeah, Fauci's not a great guy. You can look it up. And Broken Prophet here says society is officially demoralized. And that's what they wanted. Yuri Bezmenov talks about this. Started it in the 70s, I think.
Did anyone else get the AIDS propaganda when they were younger? They get told, oh, everyone's going to have AIDS. All the people who are part of the pandemic scam, all of those people were part of the AIDS. Totally not a scam.
Yeah. I get so mad that people still were. Yeah, no, it's
in their car by themselves. My favorite is the people riding their bikes.
Like the KN95s are supposed to be worn for 30 minutes at a time, not touched because you fuck up the electrostatic lining. That's what it does.
Yeah,
they may have a chance.
Legit rules and stuff.
Yeah, they never followed. But that was the point. It was just done to make people. It's the rock that keeps dinosaurs away. You don't see any dinosaurs, do you? Well, then it must work.
Are for surgeons to not accidentally like gleek spit into like an open wound, and so when blood splatters up, it doesn't go in your mouth. That's what these are for.
He did bad things, dude. It's really not. And the AZT stuff with the gay population, knowing that it was. He did a lot of really bad shit. So let's just say it's maybe read that book.
There's a lot of cheap stuff that allegedly seem to be effective against the Rona. None of that was allowed to be used, but the one thing that they did let be used was actually really dangerous to use, and they were pushing it because they tried to push it back in the day as a cure for AIDS as well.
Senator,
coincidentally, all the same people were part of it.
Senator, you do not know what you are talking about. Oh, I am the science. So funny.
Yeah, exactly.
We have actually.
That's because it may have been a little less real than we have been led to believe by Fauci and his gang.
Well, I mean, they certainly got the
HIV,
inhibitors.
AIDS connect. Yeah. Well, we're talking about furries and what they do. That lifestyle turns out leads to really bad immune systems.
Magic Johnson been around for how long now? Everybody's got AIDS. AIDS. That's a good song.
I can't stand musicals. I can do a little bit of Bob's Burgers, but South Park, I think might be the only musical numbers I can watch.
Not HIV, but full-blown AIDS.
So we were going down the rabbit hole.
Got AIDS.
So this is a good time.
Sorry, stuck in my head now.
Hey, so We've got this broad, which is the NPR CEO, but before that, she was the Wikimedia CEO, which is Wikipedia, but all the other stuff too. So she's been in the hot seat. Catherine Mayer says that she abandoned a free and open internet as the mission of Wikipedia because those principles recapitulated a white male westernized construct and did not end up living into the intentionality of what openness can be. So I say maybe we don't have to call Kim Blair evil, but this woman we can call evil, allegedly. It's well deserved, and we're about to go into her background because I first saw this, I was like, this is interesting, but I probably won't cover it. But then when you see all the people she's been part of, it's just like, okay.
I might have said some hot things about the medical industry, coups, and AIDS, possibly, and Dr. Fauci. I would like to reiterate that is, of course, 100% the opinion of Badger, and I am no way affiliated whatsoever with Geeks and Gamers.
Speaking of people, I had to sign a paper saying I'm not affiliated with. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff I made documentaries about on Band.video. That coincidentally got banned on YouTube. It's so weird. And that's what started. That's why I had to stop posting here. And then I didn't make any money over there. And they're like, I'm poor. I'm so poor. And then somehow I found all you crazies over here.
She's not going to fuck you, bro. You're going to stop simping for Blair.
Turns out
she might.
A lot of people seem to have forgotten what it was like living during lockdowns, but I will not forget that. I want to make a freaking comic book about it.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
So, Wikipedia. The way this ties in.
Warbreaker. When you going down the rabbit hole again, look up Stefan Lanka. See his virus theory. He is also a virologist, but he kind of disagrees with his title.
Yeah, I assume that gets into like some David Icke stuff where he didn't believe it existed at all because viruses don't exist. I assume it's that sort of stuff. I've heard it. I get it.
Mr. Tech Rat was playing Pokemon and he went to the, what was it? Weeping Bell or whatever special they've got going on in Pokemon. Yeah. He went there and he got all the things. Happy Pokemon Day, 420. Yeah.
Bellsprout, and you get the magic leaf, but Badger says it's not a
he's got all the magic
celebration.
Leaf. Yes. He's got the pipeweed from Lord of the Rings.
The reason, allegedly. So the reason,
allegedly.
Man, we are not getting to like any stories. So, Gamergate 1, a big part of it is the Wikipedia wars, and one of the reasons they hate these games journalists, the Kotakus, is that those sons of bitches get used as the source for Wikipedia. And then when you Google stuff, the first thing that pops up is that Wikipedia.
I haven't trusted Wikipedia in like 6 years.
Yeah, so they can very easily slander whoever the heck they want, or if people try to edit and put like real stuff in, absolutely destroy it. So he talks about the Sweet Baby Inc. page got heavily redacted from the truth. My own page vandalized multiple times and still designed against me. Wikipedia is absolute trash. Wikipedia, even though it's like, who cares about Wikipedia? It matters. Like when you search for stuff, the first thing that pops up is Wikipedia, and it matters. And this broad was the CEO behind this stuff. So now she's over at NPR, which is absolute leftist trash that pretends like, oh, we're moderates. Get out of here. We're son of a gun. I hate the New York Post so much. If Woke Elite Bingo was a game, Catherine Mayer would take the top prize. She basically, someone from NPR came out and was like, these people are a bunch of crazy leftists. So he was put on leave. And then he's like, well, I resign, screw you. So that's why people have been looking into this broad. And also, our tax dollars go to NPR to be a bunch of far leftists. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to pay taxes at all. I do, of course.
Taxation is theft.
I do, of course. But going to NPR? No. How about we just not give the money and the world would be a better place for that?
I pay taxes under protest.
So this broad, oh my God, New York Post, I hate you so much. So she looks like Elizabeth
Banks?
Banks?
Yeah.
Meets,
we got Elizabeth Banks at home.
I had it. Yeah, I had it. There's another feminist broad. Chelsea Handler. Chelsea Handler, the late night whore, meets Old Banksy Poo. I actually had to look up Elizabeth Banks. I could not remember her name, and it was pissing me off so much earlier. So let me pull up her bona fides.
She's got a strong chin. So she's a definitive chin.
All right. So it's like, oh, well, whatever. She's just like this normal CEO. Why do you care? A member of the Council on Foreign Relations. For those that don't know, that's like big old like globalist think tank. Mara worked for UNICEF, which is all United Nations globalist stuff. The National Democratic Institute, the World Bank, and Access Now before joining the Wikimedia Foundation. She subsequently joined the Atlantic Council, also a big old globalist think tank, and the U.S. Department of State's Foreign Affairs Policy Board. This doesn't seem like doesn't really seem like it's just some random blonde woman. This man was a cabinet minister in Tunisia's transition government during the Arab Spring period. For those that don't remember, the Arab Spring, that was when big tech used social media to overthrow a bunch of governments in the Middle East. And we call it the Arab Spring, all these totally natural protests. We swear, just like the Summer of Love. Who paid for all the bricks that showed up? No idea.
Now, spring sounds really nice, though.
So this is Slim Amamu. At first, I was like, this just seems like a random like crypto bro Twitter account. It says Catherine Mayer is probably a CIA agent. She's been in Tunisia multiple times since 2011 under multiple affiliations. Wait, what? And then Mike Benz, you guys know this guy, he's got what, 300K followers? He talks about the censorship industry spooks can't stop reliving the Arab Spring. This was in 2023. He mentioned this. 15 years now, and the CIA's greatest social media coup looms in their memory, like dating the prom queen does for a guy who peaked in high school. Paradise by the Dashboard Light is the State Department anthem about Tunisia. CIA, they're supposed to just be foreign. They love overthrowing foreign governments. And it was so much fun. They really felt like doing it domestically and controlling all of our politics domestically as well. And one of the ways the deep state and intelligence agencies, all the NGOs and stuff, the way they do that is the censorship industrial complex. Quite profitable, like DEI and ESG, quite lucrative.
Well, I remember I've heard this a bunch from a bunch of different people, but the main end result is that after the end of the Cold War, we had all this infrastructure to topple governments and do shit with nothing to do. And that's when we started to aggressive expansion. Yeah.
NATO's there to defend Europe. NATO's there to defend Europe.
It's the one thing.
Spread all the way to Russia and try to start World War III.
And that's the other thing they were saying is as soon as that NATO should have been disbanded, like, why are we turning our enemies into, and that we only made the problem worse. Yeah.
And then,
and we, of course, as Trump pointed out, we pay for all these other fucking countries' defense bills. What is going on with this? We go on the Twitty twats and we post.
YouTube hates me. My channel is under attack.
We'll start tagging everyone on Twitter next time. You have like 30 tags.
War on Drugs, also filled with plenty of spooks. No, they even make like Tom Cruise movies about it.
And by the way, I had the biggest crush on Elizabeth Banks forever. Even the original Spider-Man movies where she plays, I think, Betty Grant, whatever the fuck, the chick in The Office. Yeah. And then she, of course, opens her mouth and she hates us. That's the Charlie's Angels, you know.
Seriously, Slim? You've welcomed me into your home. So wait, this guy isn't just some random crypto bro. You give me the impression that you were not who you claimed to be back then.
Oh, okay, hold on. Because that's a deep cut that he's saying. That's when that high up general went into the office meeting, and it was before all the invasions, and they were like, "Oh, sir, they're gonna invade Iraq and Afghanistan." And then like he came back and, "Oh, sir, they're gonna invade," and they listed like 7 countries, and then he goes, "Why are we doing that?" And the guy responded, "Well, I guess when you have a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail." And now, since almost every single one of those countries has had either a coup or some sort of switch up or transitional.
Yeah, well,
we got it.
PNAC,
they did it.
Project for New American Century, the Karl Rove, like neocon types. They're the ones who are like, we need a new Pearl Harbor so we can invade all these Middle Eastern countries. Oh, no, 9/11 happened somehow and we're invading all these countries.
General Wesley Clark. And that's who it was, yes.
That's the stuff that woke me up. That's what sent me down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, it was always their intention. That's why it's so interesting in that Civil War movie where they have the president disband the FBI, but then the main move that Vivek Ramaswamy and now Trump has probably picked on is the fact that, hi, the FBI is super fucking corrupted, and it has been for a long time, and we know that, and it's only gotten worse. And
the original
the federal marshals can handle everything they're doing because they're not actually doing what they're supposed to. Yeah. He had the goods on everyone, right?
Director was blackmailed by La Costa Nostra or whatever with like cross dressing, and he came out and was all like, "Oh yeah, the mafia doesn't exist."
Well, Bobby Kennedy basically says that whoever went up to him at the time, and as it was like transitioning, as he was going to be the head or around, was like, "So I understand you're looking for someone to run this organization or the FBI. I understand, blah blah blah. I have these pictures." I have all these pictures of your brother fucking a bunch of different women at the time, Jack Kennedy. And I have this, and this. Be a real shame if any of these got out. So you should probably be real careful with who you choose. And then thus began what we end up. And then obviously Herbert Walker Bush was the head of the CIA. Mr. Bush.
And then the Bush family also a sordid history. One also connected to the Bin Laden. So weird. So back to not losing all of our viewers. I don't dislike you. I'm doing my duty of protecting the internet, is what he says, is why he's exposing her. Then let's let abide by our mutual commitment to openness, says Queen of Censorship, and make all bugs shallow. What does that mean? And in the meantime, operate on evidence. She didn't do nothing, bro. So yeah, this was in this was in what, 2016. Assuming this is even real, who even freaking knows? But yeah, this broad,
I blame AI.
Was the one behind Wikipedia. Do you trust Wikipedia more or less now that you know that?
I trusted them less before, and I definitely trust them less even more. I didn't think that was possible. I don't trust them at all.
Well, turns out Canada has their own Catherine Marr. Head of CBC, which is Canadian Broadcasting Company, is exactly as deranged a leftist as NPR CEO. And this is Twitchy, which it was actually a pretty darn good read. So Christopher Rufo has been going after all these DI people, thankfully kicking some butt. Oh, well, there she is. That's a concern. Catherine Tate, her base salary is $500,000 paid by Canadian taxpayers. And she is every inch the odious shit lib that NPR's Catherine Mayer is. So she's also like racking up multi-$100,000 expenses and stuff. She lives in New York, even though she's running Canadian Broadcasting Company. She's a Hillary Clinton donor. Who would have guessed? Super into DEI. By 2025, she demands that all companies with whom she does business to ensure that at least one key creative position, producer, director, blah, 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 is held by members of visible minorities, indigenous peoples, persons with disabilities, and blah, blah, blah. Visible minorities. So is she discriminating against invisible minorities?
The lizard people don't always show themselves, but they deserve to be represented when they do want.
That would be cultural imperialism of lizard people's culture, though. Badge.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? You're hurting the lizard people's feelings.
New Zealand really peaked with the Lord of the Rings filming. It's all downhill from there. Sorry. Maybe that's where the lizard people actually live. Above it's everybody has bridge. Bridge.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm ready for it.
Hayden's gonna set up like a chat bot just to chat about spam messages about bridge.
Charlie
like
from
every 5
Everything
minutes.
Sunny. It's bridge. You see it? It's all there. he's a board behind
I
him.
understand. I found a weird ghost and then posted about it on Twitter, and then they took their website down and blocked me, and then I found out it was all connected to Gamergate, and now I'm making a documentary. I get it, Hayden.
If you bridge
I definitely get it.
They will bridge.
Step aside, ESG. BlackRock is doing, a lot of people talking about BlackRock nowadays, transition investing now. So ESG's been under attack, so they're having to change the name. The one they're currently trying out is transition investing.
I don't like it. It brings up negative feelings. My pattern recognition is binging off the chart there.
Well, it's supposed to be like about the like environment or whatever. Transition into like
I don't like this tranny investing.
But that's not what I get from hearing that.
It's a lot like when the investor thing was going on and they were calling Peltz an activist investor. knowing that some people would take the type of activism that we normally think of instead of advocating for a specific change in the company he's investing in. That sounds like the same thing. Transitional investing. It's like, you know how people are going to hear it.
We got to go through this quick. What are this called again? For us, badge?
Oh, the Custodies?
Oh, yes. You are the lore guardian of 40K. Right?
Custodies. Custodies.
For anyone who doesn't understand my joke,
custodians, basically.
Batch didn't know about Warhammer, and he covered it and it did really well. And he's grifting on the views, and he was saying custodians wrong.
By the way, no, for full, I never said that like I knew a bunch of shit about it. It was just like, oh look, I cover DEI and its agenda, and it's spread to all of the things we love. Like
I know,
because that's what
you're successful, so we have to give you a hard time about it because you screwed up a little bit.
I'm just explaining to them about like to the actual videos, and so finally, I know I have been watching lore videos, man.
I wouldn't mind watching some. People always go on about how good the lore is. Well,
it's so long. There's so much lore.
So we talk about how they have the Sisters of Sorrow or whatever, and then they have like the Custodians are the Brotherhood of demigods, but now it's the Order of Demigods.
They're the Emperor's protectors. They are the Emperor's protectors that are specifically from the sons of the nobles on Earth. But it's specifically notated in several things that they're sons, and also the process they go under can only be gone under by biological males.
I told you this guy is the lore master.
I'm not. I'm talking about this because I've read the things about it, and like it's because a lot of Warhammers are trying to say that this isn't a retcon. There's a little divide going on in their community. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's falling along ideological lines. It seems.
Yes, it is falling, or people that aren't really aware of what they do. You know how they do it, because this falls in line with the attack pattern in every other franchise.
That's why they just take a little bit at a time, because they're like, it's just a little, bro. You're imagining it little at a time, and they're like, it's not happening. And then they take enough, and they're like, oh, it's totally happening, bro. Stop complaining. And then it's happening so much. Hey, guess what? Now it's mandatory.
Yeah, Shills are saying
when it starts as it's fake.
They're saying that they've hinted at it before, but then it's like I'm seeing all these, and I'm having to read all these things. It's like, no, they fucking weren't. But yeah,
Ryan figured it out. We all thought it was going to be the 2024 election. It's going to be Warhammer.
They have done this because they are a central popular faction that will be in the live action. And they are doing this so that when they force Henry, his Custodians is his favorite faction. It's the one he uses. And you know he's going to adapt them and use them and maybe even play one. And they're going to use this. Oh, look, we did it in the lore book, even though it was in the last year, as an excuse to force it and saying, look, it's the lore. And that's how they've done with everything else.
So are you a Mech Warrior lore master too, by chance?
So I have Mech Warrior 5 installed and I was playing it, but I was also, as reading this and they were talking about the lore, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I probably should have paid attention to this when I was a kid, but now it seems like that won't matter because their futuristic political war has trans and gay rights allegories in it, because that's what's important in a future Mech War fight for resources. Bro,
and who is behind it?
I believe you, Westward. I'm just saying, in all the videos and all the responses that we're talking about, that like it's a pretty popular OP faction. But I believe you if you're saying they're not that popular. Either way, they're Henry's favorite, and he most certainly is going to be putting them in the live action. And now there's lore for they have to be female boss women.
So we're having a bunch of drama, and who would have guessed the community manager is involved?
Always. Same thing with Pokemon. There was a community manager involved in that.
Yes, which this is one of those situations because a lot of times they don't really have that much power. It's a certain demographic that always keeps going in, but a lot of it's like PR stuff that they do, and so occasionally it does have an effect. And this one has started a whole controversy where one of the features of Gamergate was like forum wars, where there'd be lots of banning and whatnot. Someone tries to bring up a topic, oh, thread gets deleted and that sort of a thing.
We're seeing that with Discord and subreddits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a state. That's how you know it's Gamergate 2 again. And that's currently happened with Mech Warrior. And then there's like the longtime supporters who, will get banned, or they just say one little thing and then I'm withdrawing all my support. And then you get the different factions, and then bam, that's how you get a civil war.
And it's all just one extended. It's still Gamergate 1, Gamergate 2. It's the only battle that we've been having for the past, just round up and say decade. It is the infiltration of DEI, ESG, Bridge, all the fucking acronyms for it. It's
He
the
said
neo-Marxist feudalism. They want us to eat the bugs in our 50 minutes. It all goes to one spot. All roads lead to Ray Skywalker. All roads lead to Klaus Schwab and the UN mandates. It's all going in one direction, but it's all it. It's just that now they've gotten to tabletop because they've literally gone from movies to television shows to comics to AAA
Do you
gaming
think they
to
go?
AA gaming.
What's left?
Cards.
What is left? What haven't
Card
we destroyed
games.
yet? It really feels like they actually.
But they already have Magic the Gathering. That's the Wizards of the Coast thing. So it's like they've literally gone to every
Sweet Baby
single thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
there is only the war. It's just one big pop culture world war.
Yeah. And if we don't stand up, we just let it kind of pass over us. It just keeps getting worse. That's why they do all the gaslighting of, oh, why does it matter so much, bro? Yes. So I'm writing down a note to make a clip to add to StreamYard. So every time we say bridge, we can have Pee-wee's Playhouse go, bridge!
Ben has also said that he's a lizard person. So playing Warhammer naked makes sense because he would want to absorb a bunch of heat because he's a cold-blooded monster. But that's all right. Plays Warhammer.
As a custodian? Am I a space janitor now?
No, they're custodians of the Emperor. Like they guard the Emperor. They're like the Secret Service, basically.
So there's more sweeping away dead bodies then.
Yeah, and causing them. They sound badass.
That, the Flash Gets, they do a lot of like Warhammer stuff. They finally did their own. What's it called? I got it.
In the 41st millennium, there's only war and DEI. Yeah.
Where's
like
that?
Grim ass dark future where everyone's dying. Everyone's horrible and like zealotry and like the Emperor and nothing else, and yet there's DEI. It's so retarded.
And then that brings up Jeremy's argument for the hottie in Fallout and why hasn't she been immediately taken advantage of? Women, yes? I would not want to be a woman in the Warhammer universe.
Every single Fallout game has women characters that aren't just raped every 3 seconds. Sorry, there is plausible deniability in that universe for that. Just how it is, including there's plenty of women bosses in all the games. There's plenty of people worshiping people inexplicitly in cults and that type of behavior because everyone is superstitious. That is just what that is, unfortunately. But yeah, I agree. In most post-apocalyptic, you would not want to be like the Book of Eli type. You wouldn't want to be a woman unless you were heavily armed, and even then.
I will accept that I have male privilege in the apocalypse.
In the post-apocalypse, 100%. 100% I will accept that. But no, Fallout and its satire, they have a little bit more leeway with that as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so Flash Gets Space King. Any 40K?
Yes,
any 4K fans who haven't seen this, Flash Gets does amazing animations, but they did their own original, 17-minute long animation, 40K. Oh, so freaking good. There's my recommendation for the day.
The Diddler. Have we heard of the Diddler? Where is that man? Batman hasn't found him? He's in the Antigua or Barbados.
Catherine Mars fans or friends in the CI have probably hidden him pretty well at this point. So, in case you haven't been following BattleTech, which that's something Razorfist has been talking about for a while. So, firing conservative authors, defending violent woke contributors, defending doxing contractors, hostile takeover of the BattleTech subreddit, take over the demo team Discord, woke community manager running amok. They're all like, oh, they think the SJW has infected everything. They did, and the way they do it is through the forums. And now
it's the beginning
Discord.
Parts. Like if it's sort of like in the Phantom Menace when it's like, oh, they've cut the communications. It's like they know attack is coming because that's how it starts. That is how they fucking start. They start silencing people. They start firing out and ousting people, and setting
it's like the
stage for any dissent to be dismissed.
Tokyo Rose kind of thing. I think that was the name in like World War II, where they'd be like, "Oh, the Japanese troops are winning, the Americans are losing," even when it was like the exact opposite, because they just put that out as like demoralization kind of a stuff. That's what it feels when they're like, "Oh no, this isn't happening, bro. We're winning."
Yeah, no.
But then Alyssa Mercunte has to be like, "Oh, these characters are hot." It's like, what side's actually winning?
In the apocalypse, though, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. Booty is booty, and the strong are all pimps. Yeah, you got to protect that ass. You either are able to protect that ass, or you are not. And that is the truth. In
I
the
hope
apocalypse.
the radiation mutates me to be too disgusting for that. Hopefully my dysphoria will, or deformity rather, will prevent that.
I always take the lady
Otherwise, I'm
killer
way
perk.
too pretty.
Always take the lady killer perk. It gives you special dialogue with women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, special flirt dialogue.
How many people did I get in Knights of the Old Republic?
None. You do romance, but you don't get to actually.
Not even like some Sims, like the rolling around under the covers.
No, it's not that type of Bioware game. You gotta play a different type of Bioware game for that one.
You know who? You know what?
Duct tape your booty hole, folks.
What space IP does have it though? Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, when Harrison Ford's just like, I'm going to forcibly kiss this like 3-year-old robot who just found out she's not human and is having like a mental breakdown. I'm going to forcibly kiss her against her will. And then when she tries to leave, I'm going to stand in front of the door and not let her and then shove her backwards. And then we're going to kiss and then we're going to forget about her forever and then come back at the end and we're all like in love and stuff.
She wanted
Guys!
Don't you get?
Like the Gillette commercials or whatever with the toxic masculinity. It's like, okay, no, that's retarded. A little bit more consent would have been nice.
You're saying he's toxic and grapey in this movie?
But it like comes out of nowhere.
She a brave one. She a brave one. It don't count. Or does it?
But 9 out of 10. I want to call it a 9.5 out of 10. I watched it with the headphones on. Oh, that definitely was a good decision.
Consent given. She came to his apartment. She stalked him.
She tried to leave. She tried to walk out the door. And
because he was telling her shit she didn't want to hear, and she couldn't face the truth that she needed a good dicking to accept the fact that she was a robot. And he gave her both, by golly. You like the second movie too.
Of the 3 I watched, it was definitely my favorite. I'm glad I rewatched it because I must have not been paying much attention back in the day when I watched it again, or when I watched it the first time, and I definitely really enjoyed it. That part bothered me though. That part bothered me a bit.
I really can't stay. Baby, it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. I can't do it, Harrison.
And this last week, there's 4 movies I watched. I saw a bunch of Yahtzees and a bunch of smoking, and then Blade Runner itself just has lots of fog and smoke and like the background environment, but with the constant smoking cigarettes, one of the best parts of watching these classic movies.
He takes her back to the Tyrell Corporation. His dick is all messed up, and he goes, "I had a little mechanical mishap with your unit here. I'm gonna need to switch her out for another."
Yeah, what sort of like viruses do you pick up from that?
Well, if you go by the sequel, he's able to impregnate her and have a half replicant baby, half human baby.
Yeah.
They never explain that one. Battlestar Galactica has biological machines that they found a way to grow and they have half breeds. So it's like at a certain point, it all becomes wishy-washy, and then you just get into the nature of a soul and what the fuck that is.
I think Westward is on my side.
Yeah.
Or
they can't
consent. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. She can't consent.
You think she's a piece of meat? She has memories. She thinks she's a real person. Badge.
Fake memories inserted by the Tyrell Corporation. It's interesting. Yeah. I like those movies because they just essentially boil down to what is life. What is life? If you know you're alive, if you're aware of what you are, if you're sentient, are you actual life? And is it okay? And that's sort of what they were musing about.
I actually did have notes. Let's see if I can find them. My favorite line was
auto wash.
Was it
auto wash?
Wake up, time to die.
Yeah.
And
and obviously his shit, Rutger Hauer, and Tears of Rain.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I wish she had been with him at that end scene though. I think all 3 of them should have been there. The Robo Grape is number 2 on here. 3 when the fighting the female and she's doing like a thigh choke. She's like up on his shoulders, like choking with her thighs.
Fun, like smiling all maniacally. Yeah.
And then she sticks 2 fingers in his nostrils. Oh my God. And then she like runs far away. So that way she can do like 25 back handsprings before she gets to him. Just enough, plenty of time for him to just take care of her. I felt like it was some Indiana Jones, like sword versus gun situation where she's like, let me do these 25 back handsprings first after the thigh choking. They're like super strong. Just go like that, and he's dead.
As Ron says, I have memories and dreams of unicorns. Does that make me a replicant or gay? That's binary thinking. It makes you a gay replicant, obviously. Both can be true at the same time. I saw sea beams sparkling over the Tannhauser Gate.
Yeah. And with some headphones on,
attack ships on fire.
I wish we had more of him. He was fantastic,
bro. So you want me to blow your mind? Or I'll blow the chat's mind.
We got 6 minutes to do it.
The movie Soldier with Kurt Russell takes place in the Blade Runner universe, and in his battle records, you can even see that he fought at the Tannhauser Gate. So same world. Yep, I know. Yeah. 6 minutes. I think we got through all of our stories, even though.
No,
highest count is when we were bullshitting. I know.
I had some extras. So next I watched Ghostbusters. And this is all because people gave me so much freaking money last Saturday. It was insane. So I actually threw a third one in Last Crusade. But Ghostbusters, a little controversial. I only think it was like an 8 out of 10. I was pretty tired. It was at night when I watched it, so that might have played a factor in it. I kind of had to split it up too in my watching. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be more of a comedy. Like Dan Aykroyd writing and being in it, and Bill Murray. I was also really disappointed with Bill Murray's character. Like, he was an asshole.
Yeah.
He was hard to root for.
And he's supposed to be a fun asshole, though.
Yeah, but and then Dan Aykroyd, I liked his character, but it's just him having money and getting taken advantage of, which is also kind of made them hard to like. Really good though, obviously. Really enjoyed it. Disappointed the Ghostbusters theme song wasn't until the very end. Should have been in the actual movie, in my opinion. Definitely a fan, but didn't. I am an 8 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry. I know.
I think everyone thought it was going to be a 10 or a 9.
An 8 is quite good for me. Now, Last Crusade, I like 9 and 9.5 the first two. I forget which one I gave what. This one, I want to say an 8.5. So we got like the castle scene with the fireplace where they keep like going around in circles and the secret like trapdoor fireplace. That was amazing. Loved it. Absolutely classic. Loved his interactions with his aloof, uncaring dad. I loved his Scottish accent and backhanding. Literally, we joked about him backhanding women, and it's okay.
Don't get snippy with me.
And slaps them. But I will say we had like the tank scene. The tank scene was so. I call it Back to the Future wacky. It gave me Crystal Skull monkey chase vibes.
What the tank when they're trying to crush him when he's on the side?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a little too corny.
Really? I never got corny from that one. I actually thought I did. At least as a kid. Maybe as an adult, I wouldn't.
And really enjoyed it. Not quite as much as the other two, but obviously
we named the dog Indiana.
Yeah, and so his name. He actually is Junior. He just stole the dog's name.
Indiana's the dog. His name is Junior Jones.
The more you know. So yeah, I'd say 8.5 on it. So 8.5, 9, and a 9.5 for the Indiana Jones trilogy. So altogether a 9. That's fair, right? People won't hate me too much, right?
Wait, Temple of Doom is your highest rated
I don't
Indiana
remember.
Jones? You said 9. Oh, was it? So
I think it was 9.5, 9, and then 8.5 then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I know
Also,
Gary thinks that it's like a perfect movie. Raiders. That Raiders is the perfect movie, which he might not be wrong. But I think Back to the Future is a perfect movie, and you watched that movie and loved it. So
yeah. But still, like, it didn't give me like 10 out of 10, Godzilla -1 sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think Last Crusade is my favorite, but for the family stuff and Marcus and this running off into the sunset.
Here
Speaking
in 2 minutes, the premiere will start, but there's a 5-minute delay, like a countdown timer. So we got some time. So if you'd like to watch the first part of the documentary, it'll be playing here in like 7 minutes. So we're going to outro, get out of here. And then since it's a premiere, you can hang out and chat and we can kind of watch it together like a watch party sort of situation. So Badger, you got anything? What videos you got coming out today? Or what you want to outro?
You call him Dr. Jones, lady. Nothing. I got my normal. I got a thing on Tomb Raider. They've retroactively edited that game, so buy physical media, so they can't do that digitally. And then whatever the hell I find for my third video. And then that is it for today. And then day off tomorrow. And then I think we'll see maybe next week, right? We'll see you again.
We're thinking about doing a Monday stream. I will let you know.
Yeah.
Monday 3 to 4. We've done it before, and then I was streaming way too much. So I will be seeing you guys in the premiere chat. Your support means so freaking much.
We'll see you in the premiere in a couple minutes to talk shit about him.
Oh, God, yeah. See you soon.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Good, then get the hell out of my life. Who needs you? Beat it. Leave me alone.
I needed to get rid of the human garbage, otherwise known as my best friends.
Oh!
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
Well, bye.
I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean that either.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. See you soon. As soon as I can find the Instagram.